Hello, welcome back to Cottage Gate. Today we'll be crocheting this 10 cm cat version of TyongNya. Step 1. Follow the pattern for doll base number 1 to crochet the body. I use number for medium yarn and a 3.5mm hook. Check out the PDF patterns linked in the description below. For step 2, we're going to crochet the ears. Start with a magic loop. Then single crochet 6 times into the loop. Close the magic loop. Slip stitch back into the first single crochet to complete the row. Row 2, chain 1, then make 2 single crochet stitches. Now make a 2 half double crochet increase into the next stitch. Then single crochet 2 times. Next, half double crochet into the next stitch. Finally, slip stitch back into chain 1 to complete the row. And that completes one cat ear. Make sure to leave around 6 inches of yarn before cutting. We'll be using this extra yarn to weave in the ears later. Repeat this exact pattern for the second ear. Flatten both ears and place them on the top of the head. Now we're going to weave each ear in with a hook. You can do this with a tapestry needle as well. Be mindful of each weave you make, as this can affect the position of the ear. That's one ear weaved in. Now let's do the other one. And once you're done, just cut and tuck in any loose yarn. Now with the ears done, let's move on to the last step, needle felting Taeyong's features. First, we need to even out these ridges on the surface of the doll's head. Having an even base makes it easier to felt in the features as precise as possible. Here, I'm laying down strips of yarn to fill out the ridges first. After filling out the gaps or ridges, we're going to felt over the whole surface to make it even. With the base done, let's move on to the features. First, I prepare the colors of fibers that I'll need for this design. Different shades of pink for the mouth, hearts, and the rose marking, black for the eyes and brows, and of course a bit of white for the eye sparkles. Instead of buying fibers for felting, I usually just make my own with the yarn I already have. Just cut your yarn in 2 to 3 inch strips. Take apart the threads and use this pet comb to tease the yarn strands back into fiber. I got this one from Daiso. And now that we've prepared all of our colors, let's start felting. For this design, I started with his eyes first to anchor everything in place. Remember, needle felting features is basically drawing but using fibers. Always start with the easiest shapes of the design, like these big boba-like circles for the eyes. I wanted to give the eyes a bit more dimension, so I continued felting around the edges of the circles. The more you needle felt the fiber into the same spot, the more it will get indented onto the doll. After we're done with the boba eyes, let's quickly felt in the brows. Take a tiny amount of fiber and roll it between your fingers to make a tiny strip that you can needle felt into a line. Now let's repeat that for the other brow. To clean up the lines and make details stand out, I would usually go back in with a bit of white fiber on the base. After the brows, let's do the eye sparkles. Take a tiny amount of white yarn and felt it into the eyes. Start with just a small amount of fiber, then add in more fiber little by little to build up the shape. Finally, let's add the pink hearts to finish the eyes. Again, roll a tiny amount of fiber and slowly felt it into shape. To refine smaller details like these, switch to a finer felting needle. Here, I am using my extra small 42 gauge needle to nudge and felt the fibers little by little into position. Let's repeat that for the other eye. After the eyes, let's felt Taeyong's rose marking. Like the brows, roll small amounts of fiber into tiny strips before felting. Start with one strip, then go over it with the next one to form an X. Finally, let's felt the mouth. I first rolled a longer strip of pink yarn and felted the outline. Finally, let's take some peach yarn to fill in the mouth. And after a few more tweaks, we finished this 10 cm Crochet Tyongya. Check out my channel for other tutorials for 10 cm doll accessories and clothes, or even more tutorials on how to crochet your own dolls and more, all in my channel or linked in the description. What other dolls would you like to see me make next? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching. Like this video if you learned something new. And maybe subscribe if you'd like to see more. See you on the next one.